Pause, pivot. Conversations are pause, pivot. Conversations are pause, pivot. No more change, no more holding us back. Answering my purpose, embracing life lost. No, today's a new day. Let the old pass away. No more limits, only say pause, pivot. Conversations are pause, pivot. Conversations are
Hello, everyone, and welcome to tonight's episode of What's in Your Cup Conversations. I am your host, Consuela Nicole. You already know who it is. And y'all know what? I am really feeling this new theme song. So I definitely want to give a shout out to Brandee J and DL Music. Thank you very much. I am loving this. But y'all know we got some updates coming soon for that as well. I don't know what they doing over in the studio, but I am excited for it, right? Welcome to tonight's episode of What's in Your Cup Conversations. As you know, we are streaming on Facebook as well as YouTube. So make sure you share this out because tonight's conversation could definitely be the answer to someone else's prayers. And y'all know me. Your girl got her 3 Ps, the pause, the pivot, and the push. And tonight, we are definitely going to be talking about a pivot. And boy, this is a pivot for your tail. And I don't know how she did it, but we're going to definitely talk about it. Hey, Rena, I see you. Good evening. Make sure you are sharing this out. Before I bring her on, as y'all know, I told y'all, What's in Your Cup Conversations is definitely on the move this season. So make sure, first and foremost, that you join us if you are in or near Florida, more specifically the Northern Florida area. Make sure you join us for the 2nd annual Breast Cancer Awareness Banquet. It's not just about tears. We're going to have a whole lot of fun because your girl going to be in the house, right? Check out the flyer. Make sure you check out the flyer, get your tickets, and join us. If you are local, know somebody local, or whatever the case may be, join us. If you need more information, the number is on the screen. Reach out to Monica or Jazz. Take a screenshot. It lasts longer because I don't want you to miss what we got going on tonight's show. But we're going to get ready to jump on in because our guest got a whole lot to say. She got a whole lot of life-changing things to say. Let me correct that, right? Because a lot of the things she has to say had my mouth drop. So let me just tell you, I'm going to just share a snippet of who we have here today, right? From being teased as a young girl for her size to now standing boldly as a trailblazer in media, fashion, and sports. Yeah, I said it, in sports. Brandee J has turned pain into purpose and built platforms where women can see themselves and see themselves reflected. Brandee made her mark as an executive editor of a magazine, launched New York Fashion Week Plus, which was the first New York Fashion Week exclusively celebrating the plus size woman, you know, those that look like me, and then went on to create Luxe Curves magazine, which is a lifestyle publication for Curvy magazine. And then she boldly pivoted into the sports world. Excuse me? If that is not a pivot for your tail, I don't know what it is. So today, as the founder of J Impact Marketing and Management and the director of marketing for Cali War Women's Football Team, she amplifies women athletes, building brands, and proving that when she show up, change is definitely sure to follow. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome Miss Brandee J to What's in Your Cup Conversations. Good evening, Brandee.
Hi.
How are you?
I am wonderful.
How
are
you doing
you
today? I
Girl.
am ecstatic. I am happy. But it's been a day. I ain't gonna tell a tale. It's been a day, but I am happy that we are here. I am happy that you are here. Um, but I gotta tell you, I have to tell you first, when I first received the email about you being a guest, I was like, no, that can't be the same Brandee J. Because I remember following her in her, what do you mean she's in what? I remember following you in the fashion industry, right? Because I was like, she doing things
Wow,
for the
thank
big girls,
you.
like for real, for real.
Yes.
And it said, no, she's in sports now. Sports? Yeah, I don't know
Yeah.
about that. Let me go research. And when I researched, I was like, oh my gosh. But we're going to talk about that, right? But I have to ask, I know I just spilled a little bit about what's in your cup when I introduced you, but I'd like to ask all of my guests, how do Brandee J introduce herself to Brandee J every morning to get her going?
Girl, Brandee J is amazing and fabulous and beautiful, and I do everything that I want to do. I do it on my time, and that is about it. I'm not afraid of anything. I go after everything I want, and Brandee, you that bitch.
I love it. Come on.
That is what I do.
If that's not changing, I don't know what is, because man, you come big, you come bold, and you come hard without no apologies, right? This is me and I'm showing up.
No.
So I want to thank you first and foremost for showing up. But we're going to jump into it because we got a lot going on. And I know you are a community woman. I was going to say community girl, but you are nowhere near a girl. You are a woman in the community of all different things, right? And you've been pulled, but you are balanced. And I love that, right? So I'm going to jump in. I know part of your bio said you had some difficulties growing up. Like you had some challenges being a plus size girl. Really?
Well, yeah. So I'm the youngest, and I was. My dad always had an issue with me being big, and I didn't think there was an issue with me. I was just, Brandee, and so I was bullied by my sisters, by my cousins for being bigger. Even I'm like one of the lightest ones in the family, so I would get bullied from my skin color. And it's crazy that your first bullies and the first people who mistreat you is your family. So that was always something for me. And when I was 10, my dad put me on a diet, and I didn't know why. I remember the day like it was yesterday. Me and my cousin, I was 10, she was 11. We were outside playing, and my dad called my mom and said, "Don't feed Brandee and my cousin dinner. I'm bringing something home for them." And we thought we were getting a treat. We thought it was McDonald's. We thought it was something great. And it was a salad. And he brought us home a salad and let all the other kids eat what my mom cooked, and was like, "You guys need to lose weight." And that was when I was 10 and my cousin was 11. So that started me not loving myself. That started me having an eating disorder at the age of 10, where I will go and eat and then throw it up. And from like 10 to 15. And then I attempted suicide when I was like 14, because I never felt great about who I was. I was always being compared to my sister because she was skinnier, but she was, a preemie, and I wasn't. So I was always being compared to, and I just got to the point, and my grandmother got to the point, and she was like, my grandmother was my savior, and she cussed out my dad, which is his mom. And she was like, "No, you are gorgeous. You're beautiful." And her instilling that in me just lifted my confidence. So from 15 is when a shift changed in me. And I was like, I love my thick thighs. I love my thunder thighs. I love my big ass. I love all of this about myself. And it is what it is. Because, I ain't never had a problem getting anybody. So obviously somebody like it. So that was my mentality. And it just, I embraced who I was.
And you did. You didn't just embrace it. You embraced it and jumped on the scene and did some major things. Now I'm going to tell y'all, I am not putting any of her model pictures on the screen. Why? Because I want you to go do your own homework and I want you to go check her out. Because that is what is in her cup. However, she didn't kind of, I'm not going to say dump that out, but she used that as a foundation to change some things for women across the board, right? So when you started out in the modeling world, this was you.
Yeah,
You
that
have
was the
always
girl.
you have always been a gorgeous woman from
I was
everything
like,
I've seen.
I saw that picture. I was like, look at, oh, where is my waist at? Lord Jesus, I need to go back in the gym.
And you still look amazing, right? But my biggest,
girl. Yeah, that was like, that's crazy because that picture was probably a year after I had my son. A couple of years after I had my son, and he's 15 now. So that was a long time ago, but it goes to show, like I tell people, I said, yes, I was smaller, but I've always been thick. I've always had the waist, the waist and the big hips and things like that. But now at 45, my body has changed. And I'm like, okay, it is what it is. Like, I'm 5 years away from 50. I said, but I still love who Brandee is, and I'm not going to shy away from, like, I had a cupcake last night, and I was like, this is a good ass cupcake. I don't care when I'm just going to do what I want to do. And
right.
Like, you get to a point, you just, you know what? It is what it is. And I've been with my partner. We've been together for 5 years. And, she ain't going, like, girl, whatever. It is what it is. But that comes with me just loving who I am and embracing myself.
So let me ask you this, and I'm not going to stay on this topic long. I know you said you went through depression and suicide, and I know I told you I went looking, and so when I went looking, out of all of your beautiful pictures, there is one picture that stood out the most to me, is that you are an advocate and a survivor of domestic violence.
Yes, I am.
Is it? I want to show that picture. Is hold on.
What picture?
That picture.
Oh, yeah.
That picture stood out. I was like, out of all the pictures I've seen, this is one of the most powerful pictures, right? And I say that because when it comes to domestic violence, it seems like we don't have those conversations until it's too late, per se, right? Versus while it's going on. What can you tell? Because you made it out. You are a true survivor.
Yes.
You are a victor of, like you said, suicide attempt, bullying, domestic violence, all these different things that are taboo conversations. How or what was something that worked for you to work through those steps so we can get to the glitz and the glam?
Honestly, it was my grandmother. By that time I took that picture, she was already gone. She already had passed. But everything that she instilled in me, I felt like during that time I was lost, because I was like, I don't deal with this. I'm not going to deal with it. And I didn't deal with it. I left. And when I left, my daughter, who's now 24, she was 2 at the time. And I was like, I'm not doing this. And the thing about it, I didn't know about any of the resources. I didn't know anything. I really didn't have the help of my family. And I had to rebuild my life as a young mother. I believe I was 23, 24. But I was like, I'm not dealing with this shit. Like, you ain't about to come over here and think you can do anything to me. And I'm over here working, going to school, taking care of the house, doing this with taking care of my daughter. And you're going to do this because of your insecurities, because you have an issue. And one thing I always tell survivors, someone who's abusive, they see something in you that they don't have in themselves. And that is what triggers them. They see greatness in you that they don't have in themselves. And that is what I had to chop it up to. I was like, you're not mad at me. You're mad at yourself, because I am still going. I'm still doing what I need to do. I'm still getting my degree. I'm doing my best. I didn't stop doing anything even during that whole time. And I just had to pull myself out of it and put myself into therapy to heal from the situation.
I love it. And you said that the most important word, therapy. Therapy is definitely needed in every aspect. So thank you very much for being transparent with that. Um, at the same time, you pivoted. You did a lot. Like you started on the fashion runways. Your stage was the runways. You created runways and stages for everybody else, and especially for those women that look like me, right? Like I said, I remember seeing you on those stages. I
Yes.
remember seeing these different events, and I was like, wow, they really do look like me because we didn't have that representation. But then you made a shift. You left you went from fashion into media, but media is still part of fashion, right? So I will group all
Yes,
of
it
that
is. Yes.
together, right? You were still doing the runways and the red carpets and all the cameras and all the things. And then you jumped into football. Ma'am, ma'am, Miss Brandee J.
Oh, girl, look how good I look.
How you go from fashion runway to a football field? First of all, I didn't even know there was a thing as women's football, first of all. So
yes, women's
how you go from one extreme to another, because those two don't that is a pivot for your tail. How you do that? Why you do that?
Okay, so my partner, she when I was introduced to her, I was introduced to her through football. And it was crazy. I was dating someone else at the time, and she played football, and I didn't know this whole world existed about women's tackle football. And I came into it because I had my magazine still. So one of their coaches reached out to me, and I was like, oh my God, yeah, I would love to feature them. I would love to cover them. I'm all about women empowerment. And it was women's tackle football. And I was like, tackle?
Right.
Yeah. So I was around football. I'm an Eagles fan all the way. Her Philadelphia Eagles. I know I'm in California and I'm an Eagles fan, but I grew up in the Eagles household.
How you do that being a San Diego girl? Okay. I
grew up in the Eagles household, so that's why.
Okay.
But then I got introduced to my partner. COVID hit. And so she went back to one of her original teams, which was Cali War. And then the COVID hit, so they didn't have a season. And then the next year, when everything started lifted, the season started. So I was like I remember going to the first game, and I was like, I'm just going to be on my phone. I don't even know if this is going to be interesting. I'm just, I'm here to support, but I'm going to be on my phone watching Vampire Diaries. Like I was honest. And then I'm like watching the game, but on my phone. And then she gets in and she's a DB, and she makes this stop and then tackle. And I was like, oh shit, okay. Okay. And then I just started paying attention more. Then I realized because I was like, okay, my baby look good on that fit. I love her in her uniform. I was like, just wear it around the house if you can. But I just realized that I do. I'm like, baby, put on those football pants again.
Okay.
But with the football, the league, the females, they pay to play. So this is not like the NFL. It's only like the NFL because it's professional and things like that. But they pay to play. And then I realized they didn't have people doing their marketing, people doing their branding. And with my background with Lux Curves magazine, with my talk show, with everything I did, New York Fashion Week, plus I did all the marketing and branding. I built my brands on my own through trial and error. And I was like, oh, okay, well, let me come into this world and let me help you guys. And a lot of her teammates didn't know what I did because I didn't put it out there until they Googled me, until they started following me. They're like, crap. And then they would look at my girl like, how you get hurt? That was the question. Like, that was
like where you come from?
She's a celebrity out there. Like, how you get hurt? And to me, it was just like, I want to help them. I want to see what I can do to help them and just do more. And then I started helping with their marketing and branding for a little bit. And then within the last year, I came on as the director of marketing and transformed their brand within a year. Rebranded, transformed their brand. And that's the birth of J Impact Marketing and Management Agency. And I started off with Callie War as my first client. And then I signed Spidey Barrett, Brianna Barrett. She is the MVP of the whole WFA league. Had over 1,200 rushing yards, over 20 touchdowns. Like she is football, women's football. And I signed her, signed my partner. I signed another player. And then I'm in the process of signing a flag youth team. And then I have 3 to 4 other people who want me to market and management. And this is all based off of me within a year transforming Callie War's marketing and branding.
Wow. So you done went from the fashion stage to a football stage, but the one thing that they have in common is that you're still transforming lives of women. Because I will tell you, I am that woman that's probably in the low 5%. I don't know nothing about football. I am not a football head. However, when my son was playing football, then I knew everything there was. People say, well, who's your favorite team? What uniform my son have on? That was what I could tell. I could tell you my son's position and what he was supposed to do and all the things. I couldn't tell you nothing else. So being able now to see that women are truly into this sport that was a man's sport is refreshing, right? And now seeing an entire women's league, that's like, wow, out of this world. So definitely kudos to you. Definitely kudos to, was it Callie Wars? Is that right?
Callie War women's football team. So we're part of the WFA, the Women Football Alliance. And you can go to Callie War, which is with the C, Callie.war football and this find us. And our season starts next year. We just finished our season. So our season will start up again in April. And we're based out of LA. But it is an amazing, I love women empowerment and I love helping women see their value and see how great they are. That has always been my thing. And that's why I started with the plus size women, because people were thinking we weren't supposed to have these things. We weren't supposed to be on covers. And that's why I started Lux Curves magazine, because they didn't consider plus size and luxury together. For me, I grew up seeing my grandmother, my aunts, all in diamonds and furs, Cadillacs, and they are all curvy, plus size, beautiful women who love their bodies. So to me, this was normal. Like, I'm just like, so like Dynasty, I don't know, I'm saying my age, but Dynasty, Alexa, I was there watching it with thinking I was Alexis. And that's how my family would show up to events. So to me, this was normal. And that's why I started Lux Curves magazine, because I was like, plus size and luxury go together. They think they don't, but basically, to me, plus size, luxury, and woman of color go together. Because I got tired of society telling us what we can and cannot do. And it's the same thing with football. I'm tired of society telling women what we can and cannot do when it comes to that. And a lot of these women are part of Callie Ward and WFA are women of color. And I'm determined to tell their story. I'm determined to get them to the level that they should be at, where they shouldn't have to pay to play. They should be getting paid to play. They should be getting endorsement deals. They should be getting all these things. And that's why I really want to go out there and make it happen.
Awesome. I love it. Thank you, Teddy Ray. I appreciate that. So first of all, thank you very much for what you do. I am loving this whole flyer and this look. I am loving this. But I want to talk about briefly, you have an event coming up next weekend, correct?
Yes. next Thursday, the Women in Sports networking event. This is my first event in 5 years. So I haven't done any, I mean, you probably can see everything I've done in the past. I was knocking events out left and right.
You
And
were.
then COVID hit, and then I just took some time off to figure out what I wanted to do. And I think with COVID, a lot of us got to the point that we didn't want to go outside. We didn't want to do anything. We would do things behind the scenes or on camera. I mean, on the computer. So I had to get out of my head and get out of my way and say, I got to put on a Women in Sports event in San Diego, where it features the athletes, where it brings more awareness to women in sports, because we're just now getting the attention for, with the WNBA and everything else. But these women have been doing these things for 10, 15, 20 years. And I wanted to do something in San Diego. I born and raised that, to bring all the professional women's sports teams together. And it's next week at Gossip Grill. They're sponsoring the venue. I secured a council member of San Diego to be a part of the event, to show how serious this is. Like, we need support from our politicians. We need support from our community, because these women are making a sacrifice and they're going out there for entertainment, and they should be treated as the celebrities, as the great athletes that they are.
Right. Well, Brandee, I want to thank you for joining us. However, before I let you go, I have 2 questions for you. When it comes to pivoting, because you did a major pivot, major pivot, like literally from one industry to a next. What would you tell the next person out there that feels like they're stuck where they are? Right? What would you tell them when it's time to make that pivot, or what they should do, or just give them words of encouragement about being stuck, but definitely, stepping out on faith?
Lean on God. Lean on God. Talk to him. That's what I did. I didn't know what I was going to do when I made the decision to shut down and transition out of fashion and say, you know what, I don't want to do Luxe Curves anymore. This is not what I want to do. I stepped out and really just took some time and spoke to God. And I said, I really want to help women, but I don't know what it is now. It's not fashion. It's not. I got to the point I didn't care about the top 5 fashion trends. COVID really just opened my eyes to what was really important, and I just didn't want to report on that after that. And I really just prayed and meditated and talked to God, like, direct me. And I listened, and I just stood still for years until he said, this is the direction. And that's what you have to do. And, lean on him. And he does not steer you wrong. And he is an amazing, God is so amazing. So for me, it was lean on God.
Absolutely. And before I let you go, my last question, when it comes to, and you can take a few seconds to think about it, right? Because you have done a lot of different things. You have overcame and became a victor of a lot of different things and elements that would have broken some people and would have taken them out, right? What does it mean to you now to live life with no more limits while being beautifully flawed?
Wow. It's freeing. It's freeing, and it's amazing. And it's something that you're going to have people who are going to test you. You're going to have people who are not going to like your confidence, not like your greatness. And you cannot care. And believe me, there's moments I had where giving up and crying and questioning why I was treated this way, questioning why my family, I don't deal with anyone in my family except really my brother, and setting those boundaries, and why this and why that. And I really got to the point. I said, it's not why, it's because I'm dope as shit. And they can't see that. And it's not for them to see. But as long as I see it, that's all that matters. And as long as you see how dope you are, that's all that matters. Like, I don't have a big circle around me. I don't. I have a small circle for a reason. And because I only need people around me who are going to see my dopeness the way I see theirs. And if people don't see it, family, friends, whatever, they don't need to be around it. So you got to accept you. You got to love you. And you just got to know I'm going to walk in my dopeness and be great. And I don't give a damn who likes it or not.
I love it. I love it. Well, you guys, you heard it here first, right? We had the opportunity of speaking with Miss Brandee J, where she says, you were my cup of tea, but now I drink champagne. And you see, she went from the fashion industry, right? From the fashion industry to the football field. We're definitely going to have to bring you on, but I know for a fact, What's in Your Cup conversation is going to make our way down to San Diego so we can see the women of Cali Wars on the field. I will definitely be in touch, but I know you got some community things. You about to go shake some stuff up that you have to go do. So thank you for joining us here on What's in Your Cup Conversations. Thank you guys for joining us here. And we'll see y'all in 2 weeks. Until next time. Remember, it's your life. It's your journey.
Yeah.
You control the narrative.
Thank you.
And live it on your terms. You are very welcome, and have a good night.